Alright, starting off first here with a 1918 Buffalo nickel. Now this coin is not in the best condition by any means, right? However, the coin still sold for $528 at auction. The coin is damaged, it's been cleaned. Do not clean your coins because it will take away from the value of them. But this coin is still valuable, still sold for over $500 because it has the 8 over the 7 and the date. So here's a couple different examples of that. Here's one in very good condition. You can clearly see the 7 underneath the 8 there. But for a lot of us that have Buffalo nickels, our Buffalo nickels are pretty worn down, maybe like this. And this is where you can see another example of that 7 underneath the 8 there. So always be on the lookout for that. That is a super rare find. Even in this condition, $528. If this coin had not been cleaned, it would have sold for more money. Had it been in better condition and not been cleaned, it could have sold for thousands and thousands of dollars. So always be on the lookout for things like that on your Buffalo nickels. Now here is a 1921S Buffalo nickel. There's absolutely nothing wrong with this coin. The coin is graded by PCGS at an AU58. So it's not a mint state grade, but it's still a valuable coin because it is a key date coin or a low mintage coin. That means that they didn't produce a lot of the 1921S mint marks. By the way, if you zoom in there underneath the word 5 cents, that is where the mint mark will be or not be. In this case, it's the S mint mark, and this coin sold for over $1,500 because it is a key date coin. Now here's a 1927S mint mark. This coin is graded by PCGS at a VF20, so not a very high grade here, but the coin still sold for over $130 because it only has 2 feathers. So here's an example of 3 feathers. You'll see the one up at the top, you'll see the long one there, and then you'll see the one in between the feather and the neck. But this one, as you can see there, we're missing that 3rd feather in between the neck and the large feather. So this coin ended up selling for, like I say, over $130 at auction because of the missing feather there. Now here is a 1935 Buffalo nickel graded by PCGS at a mint state 65 that has a double clipped planchet. So pretty, self-explanatory here. We see this large clip here on the left side of the coin, and then we see this little minor clip here on the other side of the coin. This coin ended up selling for around $165 at auction because of the mint error and its condition, of course, or grade. Now here is a coin that only sold for around $45, but it's not in very good condition at all. It's only graded at a 4. So the coin grading scale goes up to a 70. 70 is the best grade you can get. This is at a 4. This coin has a lamination error, pretty cool lamination error. You can see that there going through the entire coin from one side of the coin to the next, from edge to edge or rim to rim. This coin ended up selling at auction for around 45 bucks. Graded by Annex. Alright, so this is a 1936 S mint mark. Very valuable coin here. This coin sold at auction for $2,800. And that's because the coin has been double struck and rotated. So the coin is graded by PCGS at a VF20, so not a high grade, but you'll see the date here, 1936 at the bottom. You'll see the date here at the top because the coin has been double struck and that design is rotated all the way around. That is a very nice mint error there, and that's why this coin sold for over $2,800. Now here is a 1936 Buffalo nickel that has a doubled die reverse. So this is something to look for with your coin microscopes. The coin is graded by PCGS at a VF20. Now here are some different examples of what you want to look for on the 1936. You want to look for that doubling there on the lettering of the coin, United States of America, as well as E pluribus unum, and the lettering 5 cents. So always be on the lookout for that. Now, like I said, this coin ended up selling at auction for around $85 in that condition at a VF20. Had it been a mint state grade, of course, it would have sold for hundreds or maybe even $1,000 or more. So all depends on the grade of the coin. So here's a 1936 S mint mark. This is where a Buffalo nickel design was actually struck onto a 10-cent planchet, and that is a silver 10-cent planchet. Because in 1936 they were producing silver dimes. This is graded by PCGS at a mint state 62, and this coin ended up selling for $9,700, nearly a $4,000 coin. Super, super rare mint error there. Now here's the 1937 D mint mark. I've shown this in a lot of my Buffalo nickel videos because it's a very famous coin to look for. It is the 1937 D mint mark, where on the reverse of the coin, the buffalo is missing that front right leg. So it only has 3 legs. This coin is graded by PCGS at an AU50. Now here is a good example from NGC. Good example. Shows you a really detailed view of a good condition buffalo nickel here that is missing that front leg. As we zoom in there, we can see that. Now back to this coin. This coin is graded at an AU50, so it's not a high mint state grade, but the coin still sold for $960. And that is because the buffalo only has 3 legs. You always want to look out for that. Even in bad condition, they can still sell for some decent money. You know, had this been a high mint state grade, you're talking thousands of dollars. Now here is a mint state grade. This is a 1938 Buffalo nickel that has graded at a mint state 65 by PCGS. And this coin has the D over the S mint mark. So here's an example of what that looks like, a D over an S mint mark. Again, you're going to have to put this underneath the coin microscope to see something like this unless you have some really incredible eyes. Here's a different example of that. You'll see that S mint mark going through the D there. Pretty obvious, you know, when you put your microscope up to something like this. This coin sold for over $125 at auction. Now, here are some cool Buffalo nickels. Now, these are referred to as the HOBO nickels because Bo Hughes was like really famous for making these in the 1950s. And you probably are wondering, how in the world can one of these be valuable? Well, you know, he was kind of like the originator, I guess you could say, of, you know, these HOBO nickels. That's where the name comes from, right? Bo Hughes. So here's one side, the reverse of a regular Buffalo nickel. Here's the other side of his carving. So there are modern examples of HOBO nickels or even Jefferson nickels out there that are done by famous artists that still sell at auction. But you know, a lot of the ones that you see on eBay, it's just like not really known people that are making them. You know, they're pretty cheap. But in this case, this is a famous example of a HOBO nickel. This coin and this coin here both sold together for $900 at auction. So 2 designs there, a 1936 and a 1929 HOBO nickels there. Pretty cool. So it's kind of funny, you know, this guy that created these nickels, you know, that carved these nickels out of Buffalo nickels, he actually had a hand injury carving the nickels, believe it or not. So not laughing at that, but from 1950 to 1952 are the years that he was pretty productive, and then, you know, it really went on until 1957 until his hand injury. But this coin ended up selling for $4,000 at auction. Can you believe that? Very nice reverse of the coin too. $4,000. Unbelievable. Now here is a no-dated Buffalo nickel that has been struck 40% off center, graded by PCGS at a mint state 62, and this coin sold for $660 at auction. And then here's a no-dated Buffalo nickel where the Buffalo nickel design was struck onto a 1-cent planchet. That's why the coin sold for over $1,700. It is super worn down. It is only graded at a 3, very, very low on the coin grading scale, which means it's in very poor condition. But this is a very rare mint error. You have a Buffalo nickel design struck onto a Lincoln cent planchet, and that's why the coin sold for over $1,700. Alright guys, don't forget to subscribe in the middle. Feel free to check out the videos to the left of me, and until tomorrow, I'll see you guys in the comment section below. This is Couch Collectibles, and this is where I disappear.